Hello, everyone. This is the Morgan Millennial Minute Report with your host, Alexander Horat. The show is brought to you by David Morgan of themorganreport.com. Today, we are having a very special guest on the show, and his name is David Jones. He is a millennial real estate agent based in Chicago. David also wants to become a certified public accountant. Thank you for being on the show, David.
Thank you, Alexander. Great to be here.
Oh, that's great. So could you tell the viewers a little bit about your story on becoming an entrepreneur and a real estate agent?
Yeah, definitely. So my story is, I guess, somewhat typical. So I've worked in corporate America for over 6 years, and just doing that, I thought that that would be the ideal way to achieve what many would consider would be the American dream. And with doing that, I was sadly mistaken. So what led me to be an entrepreneur was that exactly just wanting to better my circumstances and yeah, just basically just wanting to better my circumstances for myself and for my family.
Oh, well, that's great. So could you tell us a little bit about the hurdles of becoming a real estate agent? Was it pretty hard to become one?
Um, yeah, so there are some hurdles that you're going to encounter. So one, you're going to have to take care of your pre-education. So that's going to be, you can take that either online or in class. Both options are available. And that's going to be a total of 75 hours that you're going to have to take. And then there's an additional 15 hours that you're going to have to take, and that helps you prepare for some other state specific questions. So it's altogether 90 hours for your pre-education, and then you'll have to take a state exam um, where you'll have to pass at a certain percent, which is, I believe you have to get 75% of the questions right. And then once you do that, you will have to then join a brokerage. So you'll have to join a brokerage in order to hang your license under. So when I mean joining a brokerage, that means just basically your Keller Williams, your Baird and Warners. When you see the for sale sign and you see the brokerage that has the realtor's name right next to it, that's the organization that you're going to have to join. And with that, you're going to also have to, in most cases, join a realtors association. And so with joining a realtors association, pretty much the purpose for that is to, one, protect you for like any other type of litigation that you may encounter. But that's just one of the things that you have to do, because each brokerage has to be under a realtors association. And so for you to be a part of the brokerage, you have to be a member of the realtors association as well. So those things are pretty much what you're going to have to encounter. And then specifically picking a brokerage is going to be a big decision too, because you're going to have to decide on, really what you're looking for. Are you looking for a brokerage that offers a lot of training, or they offer a more competitive split for when you have a transaction? So just basically, I guess, weighing those things out is going to, I guess, help you become a successful realtor more quickly.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense, David. So I wanted to ask you a little bit too on how do you compare working for yourself compared to working for a corporation?
Yeah. So definitely working for myself, I would say the pros for working for yourself are that, like when I did work a corporate job, I had to basically get downtown Chicago from where I live and be there by 8 o'clock. And in order to do that, I had to catch a train at least by 6:45 p.m. at the latest. So having the flexibility to, wake up when you want to, work as long as you want to, and also and sometimes have the option to work where you want to. So, my brokerage, we have offices not only in Naperville, but we have offices also in Hinsdale, and we're building another one in downtown Naperville, actually. So just having the flexibility, if I would like to, meet a client, or, we want to discuss or if I'm having a listing agreement, I can, pretty much have some flexibility with meeting clients. So just having the flexibility and basically being able to operate on your schedule is definitely one of the bonuses for working for yourself when compared to the 9 to 5 lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always better to work for yourself. So that's great that you did that. So what are some good tips you can give for new millennial real estate agents?
Yeah, so one of the tips I would say is to definitely learn the contract. So what I'm referring to is your purchase agreement contract. Like really learn what each paragraph means, because that's going to be really helpful for you when you go to negotiate on behalf of your client for when you're in a contract. So, knowing if your client has an FHA loan, what specific requirements um, are going to be needed for the home that they're trying to purchase. Because with an FHA loan, the home has to be in a certain condition in order for the loan to be funded, because it's a government regulated product. So just having that knowledge, you'll be able to, advise your clients on the type of homes that they're looking at, and, basically not waste their time, not waste your time. And you don't just be it'll make you seem wiser in the end if you really know the contract and you're able to negotiate on the terms of those contracts.
Yeah,
So I'd say that would be the key thing.
yeah, that definitely makes sense. Is there also some other hard things about real estate as well?
The other hard things would be, I guess, just because this is a very professional career, so you have to be very careful about, things that you send out to clients. It has to be um, very detailed because we're regulated by the fair housing regulation. So, you just have to be very careful, and you have to be very fair when you're promoting yourself on social media. So I would say just, I guess, being knowledgeable of the different regulations and rules, I guess, would be one of the hard things for a new realtor as well.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about advertising on social media. So can you tell us a little bit about your advertising plans and how you do that for real estate?
Yeah, yeah. So right now, I'm pretty much advertising on a daily basis on both my personal and my business page as well. So I've just discovered, actually, I'm very heavy on advertising on Facebook. So I just discovered there is a application called, they basically have a business page to, like, where you can schedule out your posts, like in a week or two in advance, or it could be just the next day. And you can actually look at data that tells you exactly how many users are actually online. So you can schedule out when you want to make a Facebook post at those specific times when most of your friends or the other users that are going to be online. So
Yeah.
that's really what I'm focused on right now.
Okay. So you're more digital than billboards and stuff. That makes sense because your cost for advertising is pretty low, right? When you do.
Yeah, well, that, and also, I'm sorry, also the fact that really you reach more people with digital advertising compared to um, the print advertising. You
Yeah.
reach more people.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense. So there's a lot of first-time home buyers who are millennials. So what does it take for a first-time home buyer to qualify for a house?
Oh yeah, you're looking at. I'm sorry, I'm just something's wrong with my throat.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, what you need 3.5% down for an FHA loan, and you're looking at a 600 credit score. And with that, you're also looking at another 3% for your closing costs. So I would say, if we're looking at a just numbers wise, like $100,000 house, it's going to be probably about $10,000 altogether that you're going to have to bring to the closing table. And just making sure that you keep an eye on your credit score as well.
Yeah, so David, when do you think is the right time for a millennial to buy a house?
Well, that really just depends on when they're ready. I mean, I know it's kind of sounds like a cliche answer, but it's not going to be a set time for each individual. It's going to be when you're financially able to take on that obligation. And with that, when I say that, you have to think about all the costs that come into a home when you actually do own it. The cost for keeping up the roof, the cost for keeping up your furnace. There's ongoing costs that come into owning a home that are not just including your mortgage. So just being prepared for those costs and having reserves, and as well as being a qualified buyer, I would say you would be, ready to purchase a home.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you're also trying to become a certified public accountant. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, yes. So back in 2017, I ended up going back to school, and one of the requirements for actually becoming a CPA is that you have to have over 150 credit hours of college education. So that was actually one of the motivations for me going back to school, was actually just so I could qualify for the exam in the near future if I did want to take it. And really the motivating factor is that it's just really, as an accountant, it's the highest credential that you could have. And it's, for me, a goal that would not only help me professionally, because I also prepare taxes for family and friends on a routine basis. But it would also help me, like I said, not only in business but also personally, with helping friends and family as well.
Yeah, so by becoming a CPA, you can really tie that into your real estate business, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And with that, there are certain deductions that you can have with your closing costs. So, like right now, I'm preparing all of the closing statements that I have so I can send those to my clients so they can discuss those costs with their CPA or their enrolled agent, and possibly get a deduction come tax time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely good because if you're a CPA, then you can help them with that too. When you're,
Yeah, yeah, it could be a way. Yes, definitely. I viewed it as another way to, reach out and get clients and, just broaden, services that I could provide.
yeah. So compared to becoming a real estate agent, has it been harder to start to become a CPA than becoming a real estate agent for you?
No, so the really the comparison between the two, I would say, yes, they both do require an exam, and they both do require, I guess, some continuing education afterwards. But really, the exam for being a real estate agent compared to being a CPA really doesn't really compare, because the exam for being a real estate agent is much shorter and it's less material compared to being a CPA. So being a CPA is really almost considered like passing the bar exam. It's more compared to being a lawyer per se. So it really is hard to kind of compare the two.
Okay, that definitely sounds a little harder. So, could you tell us a little bit about the real estate market in Chicago? So, how is it the real estate market over there?
Yeah, so the real estate market is really hot. I've been in scenarios where my client that I'm representing wants to submit an offer for a house, and the seller has 15 offers to look at. That's pretty much what we were looking at over the summer. So the market is kind of quiet. It's kind of cooled down right now, but expected to cool down right now because we're in the winter months, and this is just usually the time when things slow down. But come really after the Super Bowl is when things will really start to pick back up. So yeah.
So, is it a seller's market right now or a buyer's market?
Right now it's still, I would say, a seller's market. We're still really on the back end of the seller's market, because even though there is inventory available, I would say it's not really totally desired inventory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. So, do you have any real estate market predictions for 2021 in a city such as Chicago?
You mean 2022?
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah. I would say my prediction would be I think that it's going to really, I guess, kind of turn back up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it was summer 2021. And that's just because I think really that was just the result of extra government money coming into, ordinary people's hands, like through PPP and, other programs that were available, you know, due to COVID. So I'm sorry. I hope I didn't say anything to flag a channel or anything.
Oh, no,
But,
no, please go on.
yeah, but basically, yeah, due to that, so I think that it's going to pick back up. Like I said, probably right after the Super Bowl. But um, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it was over the summer though.
So do you think the government will make those loans again, or probably not?
No, I think that's highly unlikely. There are other loans that are available for small businesses, but they aren't as those programs wouldn't be comparable to like what the PPP loan program was.
Yeah.
At least
So do you think these COVID relief loans and stuff really boosted the real estate market? Like what sort of impact do you think that they had for the real estate market?
well, I'm just thinking from just a high level sense because you had a lot of people that, even if let's say they really did have a legitimate, running business, if they were able to get an extra, 100,000, 200,000, and yes, apply that money to keep people employed, but also, you know, invest that money in maybe, some upkeep or some other things that would be an asset. I think that that would, ultimately make its way to the real estate market.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So David, is there anything else you'd like to add about the real estate market?
Oh yeah. I would just say that I heard a statistic that every wealthy person, their one common investment is real estate. So when I talk about, financial freedom and how to really, I guess, change your mindset on my channel, I'm coming from a place of, sincerity, because I've seen it, firsthand. We have agents at my brokerage that average, 1.5 million in sales every month. So this um reality of just, going to work every day and just, going through the motions, that it doesn't have to be that, for long. So that's really what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah, and you definitely make a good point there because land has always been viewed as wealth, and that hasn't changed, throughout all human history. So, you talked a little bit about real estate investing. What do you think of investing in precious metals?
That would be an area that I'm not really too familiar on, so I would have to really leave my comment really right there.
Oh, I
Uh,
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to share the screen to show everyone your channel right here, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Is there anything you would like to tell the viewers about your channel?
Yeah. I really try to keep the channel not only educational but a little bit entertaining as well. And I really just try to at least just start a conversation about, some real estate topics that you might have not have known about, and some entrepreneurial topics that you might not have known about. So yeah, if you could give my page a visit, I would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. And I see a video right here. It says what every entrepreneur should avoid. What are some things that they should be avoiding?
Well, specifically, what I talk about in that video is what you should avoid as a young entrepreneur. And when I'm talking about are things that are going to hinder you from the time that you could be spending on your goal. And what I did talk about was having children at a young age. I talked about going through litigation or any legal issues. You're going to want to avoid those. Just basically just things that would take your time away from what you're focused on. I also talked about the result of a litigation issue, which could be you losing money, getting fined, having to do jail time, like all those things. You want to do your best to try to avoid those. And I talk also about like some of the reasons why maybe people may be tempted to, take risks, and just, reasons why to avoid those.
Yeah, well, that's great, and I just have to say that you made a really good case for a millennial to get to become a real estate agent. And I would just
Yeah.
like to thank you, David, for being on the show and giving us your insight. And I would just urge all the viewers to please check out his channel. And yeah, thank you, David.
Yes, thank you, Alex. I really appreciate your time.
Yep, and thanks to everyone who was watching. God bless and have a good day.
Yeah.